is for folks that are already homeowners that want to learn how to do something. They also have a tool lending library. So if you want to do a project and you need a skill saw, but you don't want to go buy a skill saw, you can go to them and you can borrow it from them. They have
Mm.
a ton of tools and they're just like, how lucky are we to have them?
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. All right, welcome back to the Closing Table. I am your host, and I go by the name of Kevin C. McIntosh. Joining us on this episode, we have the pleasure speaking with top producing real estate agent Maggie Gerich. How you doing, Maggie?
I'm good, thanks, Kevin. How are you?
Good, good. Did I pronounce your name right? Did I do
It's
that right?
it's Gerich, but it's close enough. I'll answer to
Gerich.
anything. It doesn't matter.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I
It's
fumbled the
okay.
ball. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, Maggie. Well, thank you for being here, taking time out of your very, very busy schedule. We appreciate that. I always like to acknowledge that. But we are here to talk about business. But I like to have a little bit of fun before we do that. Break the ice. Quick game. It's called Fill in the Blank. Couple sentences related to real estate, and they have blanks in them, so they aren't complete. I need you to fill in those blanks with whatever context makes it make sense. You ready?
Yes, do it.
All right. Let's start it off. First one, blank is why you should buy a home.
Choices.
Hmm, legit. Next, every real estate agent needs to know blank.
How to talk with people.
Blank makes clients feel more comfortable.
Being authentic.
Mm, mm. I believe blank would make the real estate industry better.
Hmm. More inventory.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Lastly, equity can also be explained as blank.
Choices.
That's a good one. Way to bring that full circle. Appreciate you, Maggie. Starting things off a little light and things like that, not too serious. So, I want you to take this time right now. We're here to talk real estate, but I want to know you as a human. So, explain to me and our audience, 60 seconds or less. Can you tell us who is Maggie outside of real estate?
Maggie is a nerd. I have I'm married. I love my relationship with my husband. I have 3 children. I love reading. I love learning about books. I play D&D. I love being outside. I love to garden. And whatever, whatever nerdy thing I can get into, that's what I'm going to do. I love building Legos with my kids. Um, I wore
Mm.
a inflatable unicorn costume yesterday at our team meeting, so that's just I'm just being myself.
That was just yesterday you wore
That was just
that.
yesterday, literally. It's
I
right there.
love
I
it.
can see it.
I love it. I love it. That speaks a lot to your personality. I appreciate that. Thank you, Maggie. All right, so now we get into a little bit more serious business, right? Specifically, can you start us off by just telling us what is the market that you currently serve? Just paint that picture for our audience. Just tell us
So
geographically.
we are in East Lansing, Michigan. We serve the entire
Mhm.
greater Lansing area. So we go about 30 miles around Lansing, which is the state capital of Michigan. So we
I
service
love that. I love
big
that.
little cities and then all the smaller communities. Very Midwest.
Right. You know what I like first and foremost that what you just said, and I have this conversation. I've been having this conversation with agents recently, asking them about servicing the entire state that they're licensed in or staying in a specific market. Which one do they prefer? Which one do they think is better? Everyone's answer is different, but I like how specific you are within a 30-mile radius of this East Lansing, Mid Michigan region, and you pretty
Yep.
much focus on that. And I think that makes you more knowledgeable about things that's going on in that specific area and everything. So
Yep.
I just wanted to put a note out there that you said that because I hear different things from different agents. So all
I
right,
like just
good.
working where I live because I'm so passionate about our community and I love it
Hmm.
when new people are coming in and we get a lot of people that are coming in whether it's for the university or hospitals or state workers. Um,
Yep.
it's one of my most favorite parts of the job is to show them all the wonderful things that we have going for us.
Got you. Born and raised here in this area?
Yep, Lansing on the
Ah,
west
even
side, so,
sweeter.
yep.
Even sweeter. All right, Maggie. Okay, so in this area, we are in Ingham County right now in the mid Michigan area with Lansing, Michigan. And Ingham County has a land bank, the Ingham County Land Bank.
Yep.
Let's just make some clarification before we even dig into this. What is the Ingham County Land Bank?
Did you know it's not a bank? You can't get
What?
financing
No
from there.
money involved?
There's no money there. I mean, there might be money. So it's um, it's within the county, right? So the people that work for the
Hmm.
Ingham County Land Bank work for Ingham County. Um,
Right.
it started where there were a lot of properties that were being lost to tax foreclosure. And the Ingham County treasurer
Mm,
at the time said, "This is we got to figure out something." So that's where the thought of this came from. They manage a lot of vacant land for properties that have
hmm.
been demolished. Our area had a lot of dollars to demolish properties that were just in horrible condition that there was no saving. So they handle all of those. They also take a lot of the properties that don't sell at the tax auction that they have, and will keep
Mm-hmm.
them. And that's why they're a bank of properties, not like a bank where you can go and get financing. They also apply
Ah,
for grants so that they can do both new construction and rehab work, to bring some of these properties back up to livable standards. And a lot of the grants
okay.
that they apply for and that they've been awarded have some kind of a component where there's some restrictions about income for the buyers that are looking to buy those.
Got you. Got
Yep.
you. Okay. That seems like a pretty reliable place to look for properties, if I'm not mistaken. And it also
Well,
sounds like it's pretty discounted in regards to price. Would I be correct?
so it depends, right? So the what their mission is within these rehabs and new construction has been neighborhood stabilization. So they know based on a lot of years of research that if they go in and build a new construction house in this moderate income area, the people are
Right.
going to see that and say, "Oh, there's a new house there. Maybe I'm going to plant some flowers this spring. Maybe I should really paint the porch like I've been meaning to do for the last several years. Maybe I should
Hmm.
make this repair to this window." So that it just by leveling up that one property, it spreads to the entire community. And that's been really fun to watch. I think their best success story is a community of condo developments that we have that's on the south side of Lansing where
Okay.
they took over pretty much the entire complex. That had been a lot of rental properties at the time. They all went to tax foreclosure. They took control over most of them and rehabbed all of the units that they owned. And when I started with them, and I think it's been 6 or 7 years, we couldn't find financing for these properties. No lender was willing to lend on them because the land bank owned too many, and that's going to go more in the weeds than we need to go today about how you can finance a condo.
Right.
But with dedication and focus on this community, they were selling at one point for $45,000. One just listed a couple weeks ago for 85,000. It elevated the
Sheesh.
entire community in a
Mm-hmm.
very short
Oh
amount
my
of time.
goodness.
Yeah. So
Oh wow.
it's bringing nice properties that are move-in ready, that are energy efficient to people that might not have that opportunity in other places. And they can do that with the grant funds because it offsets the cost of what it actually costs as to what they can sell for.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So your role as a real estate agent, how do you work with with the county land bank? Like, do you have clients and you say, "Hey, try out the land bank too. I have the MLS and that." And how does that work with
Well,
your profession?
so I started working with the Ingham County Land Bank because I I was writing offers on their listings and they kept getting denied, and I was like, "I don't understand. What am I doing wrong?" And so I applied to be a listing agent for them,
Right.
and was awarded a contract and have continued to apply every time that they put one out. They have a request for proposal that they put out every year and a half or
Mm.
so. And I've been fortunate enough to be on their list every year since then, and figured out how their programs work and why they work. And so now I list properties for them, but I'm also working on some additional volunteer work to try and bring the idea of being a homeowner to more people, to more Ingham County residents that maybe think that that's too far of a reach for them, and to bring it into, no, it's really not that hard, and these are the steps that you can get.
Right.
So to try and lower the threshold for people.
Interesting. I'm glad you kind of explained it because my follow-up question was going to be, are all real estate agents connected to that land bank or to the local county? But you just said you basically have to apply to be like a authorized
Yep.
agent or something like that, correct? Okay.
Yep, yep.
That would
So
make
they do, I
sense.
mean, and they do requests for proposal for everything. So if there's a contractor that's listening, go to their website. They just actually announced a bid yesterday for a 5 unit condo row house that they're looking to build. Their next big projects are they're gonna have nine, it's in 2 different developments, 9 condos that are gonna be two-bedroom condos that are gonna be new constructions on the west side of Lansing, and they're also looking to build 4
Mm.
single-family homes yet this year. So it's
Mm.
pretty busy, and what's nice about the single-family homes and these condos as well is that to build a single-family home right now in the city of Lansing, in the size that they're looking to build, it's gonna cost probably
Right.
$220,000 or so. I work with another group that does a similar style of program that also puts in for these estimates. Those houses are selling for 150,000. So it's because of the
That's not
grants,
bad at all.
right? They're able to cover that gap, which brings the affordability
Right.
down, so that people that are looking for a $150,000 house have this opportunity to own their own brand new home. Um, it's an amazing program. It's tricky for buyers for sure, but if you can qualify and you can get in, it's so worth it.
Okay. So obviously there's a qualification part behind it. I mean, what are the qualifications for it look like? Is it something like super complex? Is it something like the average consumer can possibly get into, or is this very strict
Anybody could do it, right?
stipulations?
Yeah, anybody could do it, and it depends on where the funding came from for the project. So, if it's something that just is being done in-house, like we just had a closing last week where Land Bank was able to use their own dollars to rehab a property, that we didn't have any income restrictions, it just had to be an owner occupant, because with all these properties,
Mm.
they tie, a deed restriction on, which means it can't be used as a rental property. So
Oh.
it a first-time home buyer was able to purchase it. They were able to use their own financing. They're open to any kind of financing that's available. But there are other ones that come with restrictions about a down payment assistance that we have to use. And the city of Lansing's down payment assistance is one that's been pretty popular to be used.
Okay. I don't think I was privy to the fact that the city of Lansing has a down payment program. I know
Yeah.
Mishta has one
Michigan has a
also, but
great
now we
one.
even
Yeah,
yeah.
and they just uncapped that, so now, the full 10,000 is available in a lot more areas than it was before. It was like anybody could get the
Mm.
7,500, but now it's open to 10,000 instead. The
Sheesh.
City of Lansing down payment assistance program is up to $14,999. Um, you have to
Wow.
yep, you can it's based on income qualifications, but
Right,
it's a
okay.
very similar process to MSHA. They're a little bit stricter on their ratios for
Mm.
your debt to income ratios. Again, too in the weeds for today, but it's a program
Okay.
that a lot of people could qualify for, and not a lot of people know about it. And the city of East Lansing also has a down
Mm.
payment assistance program. So if anybody has questions, give me a call.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for putting that out there for
Yeah.
me and our audience, Maggie. We appreciate that. A lot of stuff that we just didn't know at the closing table. Lastly, in regards to the land bank, are there any certain situations or scenarios with your clients where you would specifically recommend them get something from the land bank as opposed to the MLS or any other listing?
So the land bank lists all their inhabitable properties that aren't being sold on, so if you go to the auction, those are the homes that are gonna be in pretty rough condition. Um,
Okay.
Those are going to be better suited for more seasoned investors where you know what you're getting yourself
Mm-hmm.
into, because
Mm-hmm.
there's no inspection. You just go in and you leave with a deed. But with the homes that are
Wow. Oh
actually listed, those are all going to be listed on our MLS, so they're open to everyone. Um,
oh.
it's a great product. They do great work, and their mission is clear. Um, and they're doing really good things for our community for sure. And also I have to give a plug to Capital Area Housing Partnership, who is another nonprofit that I work with
I
as
was going
well.
there.
And they have the same mission. They also do a lot of additional education for people. They were also awarded several grants through COVID and were able to help a lot of people stay in their houses for rental assistance and
Mm.
mortgage assistance. They also have classes available for folks that are thinking about being buyers. They have classes for folks that are already homeowners that want to learn how to do something. They also have a tool lending library. So if you want to do a project and you need a skill saw, but you don't want to go buy a skill saw, you can go to them and you can borrow it from them. They have
Mm.
a ton of tools, and they're just like, how lucky are we to have them as part of our community?
Man.
They're like, their hearts are just amazing. So I love the people both at Land Bank and at CAP.
Oh no, yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Capital Area Housing Partnership, a
Yep.
program that offers classes, some monetary resources for rental assistance and things of that nature, you say? Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Oh
Yep.
yeah. Great, great. All right. So please, audience, make sure you're paying attention, take
And
notes. Great resources that we are putting out there.
like free financial counseling too. So if somebody's like, "Ooh, I want to buy a house.
Mm.
I don't know where to start." You can call them and they'll sit down with you one on one and go through, okay, let's pay these debts off. Let's work on getting a budget. Like, um, I don't know about you, but I didn't have a class in high school that told me what to do with money. And I think a lot
Oh
of
no,
people are like
no.
that. And I think people that are my
right.
age, when we were just coming of age when the Great Recession hit,
mm-hmm.
and we watched
Mm-hmm.
our parents and friends' parents lose
Yep.
everything, and so there's a lot
Yep.
of fear and shame surrounding money, and so that's part of what I love about this business is that I can educate people about making smart choices, um, and I also work with, Ramsey Trusted, so Dave Ramsey, if there's any fans out there, I work with
Okay.
them as one of their
Yeah.
endorsed local providers as well, just because financial freedom is huge and it really makes a difference. And that's why
Mm.
my answers are choices, because that's why I do this, so that I have the choice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Financial freedom. That's the real American dream, if you ask me.
Mhm.
For real, for real. Okay. Maggie, I want to ask you this very interesting question in regards to Google Map. I've never thought about this, but now that it's come to my attention, I feel like it's important to discuss. How important do you think it is for homeowners to protect their privacy by blurring their houses on Google Maps? Have you had this situation before?
Um, I mentioned before we started, recording, I am an open book. So I am an
Mhm.
open book. I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. But I have had clients before that have had concerns, not about Google Maps, but just about
Okay.
having pictures of the interior of their homes. That's usually where it comes. They're like, that's fine. Anybody can drive by. When
Mm.
you own a house, I don't know if you
Mm.
know or not, but it's public record. Um,
Right, right, right.
when I was dating, if somebody told me where they were living, I would absolutely go look up to see if they were current on their property taxes, because I have that technology
Wait,
available.
what? Whoa, whoa. You would do that?
Well,
Oh
just
my
to see if they
God.
owned it and to see if they were paying their property taxes, absolutely I would.
Wait, this is somebody you're dating? You would look that up?
Yeah. It's,
Whoa.
it's public information, and it's not just because I'm a real estate agent that I have access to it. It's just you can go and
Right. No,
find
that's
who
a
owns what
fact.
house,
That's a
right?
fact.
So that information's already out there. People can
Right.
drive by your house and see it,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand
Yeah.
the interior pictures, and there have been some great things that our association has done to protect those folks that are concerned about that as well.
You know what's funny about this whole subject now that we mention it? I was literally just telling somebody. And I'm not mad at realtors, real estate agents for doing it on their social media platforms. They'll post a home, just put it on the listing. This is active right now,
Yep.
and let's say 30 days from then, they'll post a picture of some clients with the keys saying, "Hey, our clients closed on their home," and then next they'll post a picture of that same home and put sold, basically telling everyone these
This is where
people
they
just bought
live.
this home at this address. And I was like, yo, I would hate that. I don't want anybody to know that I bought a home, where I bought it, or anything like that. So when I saw the thing about Google Maps, I understood. I mean, you can't just look at a place on Google Map and just see who lives there. But nonetheless, I understand the privacy part of it because I'm not too comfortable with that either. But to your point, it's public record. But not everybody goes and checks public records of who owns what
No,
home.
no, and a lot of people don't care. In the situations that I've had where people have been concerned about it, honestly, it's been for custody reasons, where this
Oh,
specific situation was the grandparents had custody of the child and they didn't want certain people to know where they were living, just because things had
wow.
happened. So in those
Yeah,
instances,
yeah.
absolutely. Now, I will go and I will take a picture, like it's the goofy picture, like, hey, I've got a sold rider in my car. We're at the final walkthrough. We're about to go to closing. Do you want me to take a picture of you guys just holding this sold sign? I never post it because that's not my news to share. But if they want to
Right.
post it and then tag me in it, I would love it. And I
Got
always
you.
ask, do you
Got you.
want me to get it with the address in, or do you want to move over a little bit so it doesn't show your house
There you
number?
go.
Because I understand, and same
Mm-hmm.
thing like with when I'm talking to sellers that are looking to list their house, I am probably one of the few agents that doesn't say take all of your family pictures down because I don't care. Because I think however you
Really?
decorate your home, like other people are going to come in, they also have pictures, they also have
Right.
tchotchkes, they also have all the things. Like it doesn't have to look, clean it up, but I don't want it to be, I want it to feel like a home. So make it feel like a home.
Right.
But if your kids have their names in their bedrooms, maybe we take those
Mm.
down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
doesn't need
I
to be
get
out
that.
there. You don't need, because I'm advertising the address. I'm advertising,
Mm-hmm.
what room they're sleeping in, and then also you're gonna say what their name is.
Everything.
And that might sound a little bit paranoid, but that's the only thing I ever ask people to take down, like that, and, like, if they have, like, n nudes or something, that might be distracting for some
Yeah, no, yeah.
buyers.
I've seen some pictures being at windows too. I've seen photos that was like, wow, okay, that'd be an interesting
Did you
place to
see
be.
the one that was shot? Well, she made the signs. The seller made the signs, and she was also the real estate agent, and so they had a really funny sign over their bed, and you could see it in the shot from the bathroom into the bedroom. It was hilarious. If I
No, I didn't see that.
Can you edit this if
That's
you want to?
hilarious.
Like,
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
edit this
sure.
part out if you want to? Okay, because the sign
Hmm.
over the bed said "Welcome to Pound Town," and they left it up for their
Oh.
pictures,
Oh my god.
which is
Yep,
hilarious.
edit that out. Oh my goodness. Okay, then. That's it. Yeah, interesting things you find at homes, right? Okay. Well,
I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
was in
Like I said,
Tennessee.
I oh, that's always interesting. And that's always a perspective. I don't think we cover too much the privacy that goes in with that entire transaction. Yes, it is public record. We can see where you live. We can see whether or not you're paying your taxes publicly. Like that's public record.
Yep.
But I don't want to voluntarily give that information up on social media or something like that. And not everyone would. So I applaud you also for asking your clients, hey, do you want this address? Do you want to take this picture? Do you mind? That type of stuff. So
Yep.
I imagine most realtors would do the same instead of just taking a picture and posting it. So
Yeah,
thank you for
let's
that
say they do.
clarification, by the way. Yeah, property taxes, Maggie. Something we all got to deal with if you own a home. Um, you posted something on your social media talking about this. The changes in property taxes depending on whether or not you purchased a home
Yep.
in
So
2022 or not. Please explain.
uncapping, so that's the big thing. If you are a new homeowner and you just bought, and your seller has owned the house for 50 years,
Mm,
their property taxes have been capped, where the municipality can only increase the taxable value so much per year. Um,
Right.
so when you buy it, the cap comes off and it comes back and it's even, usually with the state equalized value, which is
Mm.
the rule is 50% of the value of what you bought your house for. So if you're
50.
buying a
Oh
house
my.
and it hasn't been sold in a really long time, or they bought it and it was, they bought it for like in the days where you could buy a house for $40,000 and now you're buying it for
Right.
200 because it was
Mm.
in horrible condition. Those property taxes are going to be uncapped. So just make sure that you're asking your agent should be able to run updated numbers for you, and also your lender should. But whatever the number says on the line side, or when you're looking online what the taxes are, don't take that as gospel because they're going to change when you're the buyer. They might not change a lot, but they're going to change. And I think a lot of
Wow.
people are going to be surprised this year that maybe bought last year or the year before. Like, why is my payment going
Mhm.
up so much? And it's because the taxes are. Now, hopefully, they worked with a good lender that explained that to them. Hopefully, they worked with a real
Right.
estate professional that was able to explain that to them. Um, but if not, they could be in for a shock.
Okay, couple questions about that. Please work with me. I don't know if I'm wording this right. So, one, is there any situation when you're transferring ownership of a property where you don't have to deal with that? Like family to family and something like that, and they say no,
Yeah,
you
so
don't.
for
There's
example, my husband and I are doing estate planning. So we just deeded everything into the trust that we created for our end
right,
of
right,
life
right.
plans, right? So in that
Mm-hmm.
instance, it's just a quick claim deed, and it's just from me, I'm still the owner, but I'm transferring it to an entity.
To
So
your
yes.
trust, right,
There's also on the forms, there's a few other questions that they ask. One's like family to family, if it's an estate, that kind of thing. So there are a couple
right.
instances where you wouldn't have that be such a jump. But if it's just I bought a house that was listed on the MLS and the taxes were
Mm-hmm.
2,400, why are they now 36? There's a couple different reasons for it. One, they owned it for a long time and the values just increased a lot. Or two, it could have happened where maybe your homestead exemption hasn't been recorded with the municipality. And a homestead exemption
Mm,
is typically about 30% savings. So that's like, so say you live in the city of Lansing and you live in the house that you own, the city is going to give you a credit for being an owner occupant.
mm,
So on the rental that I own, I don't have that, so my property taxes are gonna be higher because I'm not an owner occupant on those.
right. Okay. And you said this is a new rule that started last year, or does this
No,
happen every
no,
year?
just in
Where?
general. Yeah, it happens every
Right,
year.
right,
Yeah, that's been the rule forever and ever. We just something that my partner Adrian and I do, we own the rooted real estate of Greater Lansing with Remax Real Estate Professionals. We
hey.
want to make sure that we're putting out good educational materials for folks
Right, right.
that are interested in real estate, and we want it to be more just than about the transaction. We want to educate people on the whole thing and really about building wealth in real estate, because that's,
Mm-hmm.
we feel very strongly and like put our money where our mouth is, that that's a good business model to do. So you don't have to be a real estate agent, but you can own rental properties as well. Or just, you know, you just buy up. You start with your starter home and then you use the equity that you build in that home to buy your next home, and then you build and use
Correct.
the equity to buy your dream home, and that's, we want to be a part
Mm-hmm.
of that relationship with our clients the whole way through.
Mm, 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 mm. I think the last question I had in regards to this, I know you're not like a super tax professional. Maybe I need to talk to someone. But my next question with that was, you said if you own a home for X amount of years, 50 years, whatever, you hit a cap on your property taxes. Uh, I want to make sure I'm understanding that part right for myself in the audience. So you're saying there's a cap on how much they can increase per year,
Yes,
or since you've been in there 50 years, you capped out on how much it can go, period. So this is your taxes are $4,000 a year,
that'd be
period,
awesome.
like going forward. Oh, so
That's
that's
not the
never
way
the
it is. Yeah,
case.
that'd be great, but no, it's
Oh
not
my
it.
goodness.
Um, So it's a cap on how much they can increase your taxes per year.
Year to year.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So
Oh man. So
every
regardless.
yeah, every March you're going to get a statement in the mail if you're a homeowner, and it's going to say this is what your taxes are going to increase a year. So open that up
Whew.
and read it because it's important.
Mm. Okay, Maggie. I'm gonna be real. I have to just say this. This was on my mind. That sounds crazy to me. And look, we're about to have a real moment on the closing table, right? I'm just giving my thoughts. The fact that you can own a home, right? Own a home, let's say you paid the mortgage completely off,
Yep.
but you still have taxes you have to pay.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
they're increasing every single year.
Yep.
So even though you put all that money, all the equity, you paid it off, it can still be taken away if you can't afford the taxes. And then taxes are increasing every single year. That is just so crazy to me. Like,
So,
I get it. Yes, it's cheaper than renting,
oh,
but it can
yeah,
still be
without
snatched
question.
from out of you.
Well, and
Yeah,
that's just
I don't
taxes. So
know.
what are those taxes going to? They're going to pay for our public safety, for our EMS, for our
Yeah,
police
for sure.
officers. They go to pay for our schools, our roads, libraries, parks, all that kind of stuff. In fact, I just got one. So I live in Eaton County, and I just got a letter in the mail that said, "Call me. I want to explain your property taxes to you." Great. That's really I appreciate that to know exactly where our money goes. Um,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah,
if there's someone specific in Ingham County that has done what you just said, that has paid off their home, that owns it free and clear, that is struggling to pay their property taxes, call the Ingham County Land Bank. They will work with you. They'll figure out a plan to make it. They don't want to take your house. But
right, right.
but what are the two sure things in life?
Death and
Death and
taxes.
taxes.
I already know. I get it. I get it. Oh my goodness.
But I will
That's
say
true.
we're really lucky because I was at a national real estate conference last week, and I got the privilege to talk to a few different people from different states. So I talked to someone in Omaha and that lived in Omaha, and then another person that was moving from Indianapolis to Chicago. And Illinois has had a
Hmm.
really hard time keeping residents within the state of Illinois because their property taxes are so high. So
Really?
it's really not that bad here.
Relatively speaking, yeah. When you put it in perspective, you're like, I'll take the
Just
Michigan
like before
taxes.
anybody makes an out of state move, if you're thinking about leaving Michigan, I don't know why you would. We have all the water here, but
Mm,
I mean, we don't have animals that will try and kill you, and our weather is fairly safe. Um,
I love it.
just ask about what property taxes are going to be like there if you're planning on owning.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's definitely true. And there are some states out there with no property taxes too. Keep that in mind. Good things to consider.
Yep.
All right, Maggie. This is the point in the episode where I would like for you to share with me and our audience something that inspired you or motivated you in your life, maybe turned your life in a different direction. I'm talking about a movie, book, quote, or even your philosophy that you live by. Can you share what inspired you so they can inspire us?
I read the book several years ago, Find Your Why by Simon Sinek. And I'd read
Mm,
another Simon Sinek book and I just really appreciated his style. And I it just will help you get to the root of why are you doing the thing that you're doing. And everyone has a why no matter what job they do, from like
hmm.
being a teacher to being a real estate agent to being a librarian to being in janitorial services, like all of it. What is your reason for being and why do you do the work? And I think by getting a deeper understanding for yourself, it will allow you to be your most true self. Um,
Hmm.
and that is when life gets really good, when you're not trying to be someone else. And then to piggyback off that, like literally anything that Brene Brown has written.
There it is. Appreciate that. I love getting good and new recommendations. A lot of them I have heard. I think I might have heard that one before. I'm gonna have to add that to my list
Yep.
also. So, but thank you so much, Maggie, for being here, pulling up a chair to the closing table. We really do appreciate that once again. At this moment, if you have any last words and or want to tell the people how they can reach out to you, please do so now.
We would love to help you with your real estate needs, whether it's first time, fourth time, eighth time buyer or sellers, or looking in getting into investment properties, or any questions about Ingham County Land Bank properties or Capital Area Housing Partnership. Again, we're with Rooted Real Estate of Greater Lansing at Remax, and my number is
Mm.
517-853-7404, or maybe there will be a link somewhere that you can find us on social. We have a good time, and I'm in a unicorn costume right now on our story.
Nice. Nice, nice. We love it. Yes, we will leave the links to Maggie's social medias in our description below. So make sure you tap on those if you want to get in contact with her. Thank you again, Maggie. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you got to this point in the episode, or hopefully you did it before, please hit that like button if you have not done so yet. Also, make sure you share and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Maggie, I always leave our audience with a question so they can think before we leave. Hey, audience, would you consider buying a fixer-upper if it meant living in a more desirable location? For example, would you buy an abandoned home if it meant you can live on the water in Florida? Very weird situation, but let us know what you think in the comments below. Besides that, I'll talk to you next time.